In an era where economic policy and public sentiment often clash, the recent actions and approval ratings of President Donald Trump illustrate a complex interplay between leadership and public perception. As Trump approaches the one-month mark of his second term, a series of executive orders, controversial statements, and policy decisions are shaping both his presidency and the broader economic landscape. Since his inauguration on January 20, 2025, Trump has taken significant steps that have garnered mixed reactions from the public and political analysts alike. His administration has introduced a flurry of executive orders which range from aggressive immigration policies to discussions about acquiring strategic territories like Gaza and Greenland. These moves have not only stirred controversy but have also contributed to a notable surge in his approval ratings, with recent polls indicating that a majority of Americans feel positively about his performance compared to his first term. CNN's data analyst Harry Inton highlighted the remarkable shift in public sentiment, noting that Trump's net approval rating has improved dramatically since 2017. While just 11 days of his first term saw a net positive approval rating, his second term has maintained a positive trend every single day thus far, Inton pointed out. Current polling shows that 70% of respondents believe Trump is fulfilling his campaign promises, a significant increase from the 46% who felt the same during his first term. However, despite these encouraging numbers, there are emerging concerns that could undermine his administration's momentum. A recent Economist/YouGov poll revealed a troubling development. For the first time since taking office, Trump's approval rating dipped below his disapproval rating, with a narrow 46% approval compared to 48% disapproval. This shift indicates potential vulnerabilities that may threaten his political capital if not addressed promptly. The causes of this shift may be multifaceted. Inton noted that public discontent could stem from Trump's reliance on billionaire advisors like Elon Musk, whose favorability ratings have plummeted. Furthermore, inflation remains a pressing issue, with 55% of voters indicating that they want the president to prioritize economic stability. Inflation crushed the Joe Biden presidency. If Trump is not careful, it could do the same to him, Inton cautioned. The ongoing rise in prices has left many Americans feeling dissatisfied, particularly as Trump promised to tackle inflation from day one. As the economy grapples with fluctuating prices, the food sector, particularly breakfast restaurants, is feeling the pinch. A burgeoning breakfast culture in the U.S. is contributing to skyrocketing egg prices, driven by an ongoing bird flu outbreak that has led to the culling of millions of birds. With breakfast items gaining popularity, restaurants like First Watch and Eggs Up Grill are expanding rapidly, yet the rising costs of eggs are proving to be a significant hurdle. Wholesale prices recently hit a national average of $7.34 per dozen, creating a dilemma for establishments reliant on this staple ingredient. First Watch, which has expanded its locations and menu offerings, has yet to raise prices, but competitors may be forced to add surcharges or substitute eggs with alternative ingredients. Eggs have always been and will continue to be an important part of American diets, remarked Ricky Richardson, CEO of Eggs Up Grill, highlighting the challenge facing businesses trying to maintain profitability while keeping prices stable. Looking ahead, Trump's administration will need to navigate these turbulent waters carefully, balancing public sentiment regarding inflation and economic policies with the need to fulfill campaign promises. As Americans increasingly demand action on the economic front, the president's ability to respond effectively could define not only his second term but also the future political landscape. As we observe these developments, it remains to be seen whether Trump's initial success will translate into sustained public support or if the mounting challenges will undermine his administration's stability. In an exhilarating display of speed and strategy, William Byron clinched his second consecutive Daytona 500 victory on Sunday, solidifying his status in NASCAR history. The race, renowned for its unpredictability, unfolded under tense conditions marred by rain delays and aggressive pack racing, culminating in a dramatic finish that showcased the resilience and tactical acumen of the drivers involved. Byron's win marks a significant milestone as he becomes the first driver since Denny Hamlin to secure back-to-back Daytona 500 titles, further establishing Hendrick Motorsports' legacy with their 10th victory in this prestigious event. The race started with a considerable 3-hour 30-minute rain delay that left cars parked on pit road, leading to a lengthy wait before the green flag finally waved. Despite the weather-related interruptions, NASCAR's strategic decision to advance the start time paid off, providing a primetime audience that many in the sport welcomed. As the race approached its conclusion, the familiar chaos of the Daytona 500 ensued. With less than 10 laps to go, the competition intensified as drivers jockeyed for position in a three-wide racing format that had fans on the edge of their seats. Byron, who began the final lap in ninth, skillfully maneuvered through a tumultuous scene where leaders collided, allowing him to seize the moment and race to victory unscathed. Tyler Reddick followed closely behind, completing a remarkable finish amidst the wreckage of other cars swirling around in the aftermath of the crash. The pre-race festivities added to the spectacle of the Daytona 500, with President Donald Trump making a notable appearance, echoing his prior attendance in 2020. The atmosphere was electric, with many fans displaying pro-Trump signs and merchandise, reinforcing the event's unique blend of sports and pageantry. Trump's presence included a ceremonial motorcade leading the drivers on their parade laps and a flyover by Air Force One, which resonated strongly with the crowd. However, the day was not without its moments of concern. Ryan Preece's harrowing rollover incident during the race raised alarms about driver safety, underscoring ongoing debates within NASCAR regarding vehicle design and crash resilience. Preece's frightening flip, reminiscent of his previous incident at Daytona, sparked discussions on the need for further innovations to ensure driver protection amidst the high-speed chaos that defines the sport. As NASCAR transitions into the new season, it does so with the backdrop of a potential court case that could have significant ramifications for the organization and its operations. The looming antitrust lawsuit from several plaintiffs reflects broader issues in the sport, signaling that while the Daytona 500 may have concluded, the challenges ahead will require careful navigation by NASCAR and its stakeholders. Looking ahead, the implications of Byron's victory and the ongoing legal matters promise to shape the narrative of the NASCAR season, with races continuing into the upcoming weekend in Atlanta. Fans and teams alike will be eager to see how the dynamics of competition evolve in a landscape that is continually influenced by both triumphs and trials. The Daytona 500 may have set the stage, but the journey through the season is just beginning, filled with potential excitement and unexpected turns. In the ever-volatile landscape of stock market investments, some strategies are as risky as they are enticing. Recent insights from investment manager John Dorfman highlight a stark warning for investors. Venturing into stocks with exorbitant price-to-sales ratios, particularly those exceeding 100, is a surefire way to incite losses. As the market continues to grapple with the repercussions of inflated valuations, understanding the implications of such investments becomes increasingly crucial. Dorfman emphasizes that sound investment typically favors companies with reasonable price-to-sales multiples. For instance, established giants like General Motors, McDonald's, and Microsoft boast ratios well below 12, while even the much-lauded Tesla stands at under 13. In stark contrast, companies like Strategy Incorporated, formerly MicroStrategy, command an astonishing 139 times revenue. This Virginia-based firm has garnered attention primarily for its substantial Bitcoin holdings, yet its history of losses raises questions about its inflated stock price, which dwarfs its cryptocurrency assets. Similarly, IonQ, a quantum computing firm based in Maryland, has a daunting price-to-sales ratio of 210 despite only generating approximately $37 million in revenue over the past year. With lofty promises of revolutionizing problem-solving capabilities, IonQ's stock remains a speculative gamble that could lead investors astray. Meanwhile, Revolution Medicines, focused on cancer therapies, is trading at a staggering price-to-sales ratio exceeding 8,000, underscoring the speculative nature of its valuation. The political landscape further complicates investment decisions, with entities like the Trump Media and Technology Group and AST SpaceMobile also exhibiting exorbitant price-to-sales ratios. The former, led by former President Donald Trump, shows a ratio surpassing 1600, driven largely by political allegiance rather than sound financial fundamentals. AST SpaceMobile, despite its recent surge in stock value, is projected to remain unprofitable until 2027, leaving investors in a precarious position. Dorfman's historical analysis of stocks selling at 100 times revenue reveals a concerning trend. Out of 84 stocks he previously warned against, a significant majority, 60, experienced declines, with many suffering losses of 50% or more within a year. In the face of such data, the allure of speculative stocks can be misleading, particularly as past performance serves as a cautionary tale rather than a guarantee of future success. As the stock market continues to evolve, it is imperative for investors to remain vigilant and discerning. The current climate, rife with speculation and inflated valuations, calls for a strategic approach grounded in fundamental analysis rather than mere hope. The insights from Dorfman serve not only as a guide for navigating current market conditions but also as a reminder of the enduring wisdom of prudent investing. As we look ahead, the question remains: will the allure of high-risk stocks continue to draw in speculative investors, or will a shift toward more sustainable, value-driven investments redefine the market's landscape? The answers lie in the unfolding narrative of the economy and the choices investors make in this intricate dance of risk and reward. In a rapidly evolving tech landscape characterized by strategic acquisitions and regulatory scrutiny, significant developments are reshaping the industry. Broadcom's interest in acquiring parts of Intel, South Korea's removal of the deep-sea cap from its stores, and shifts in Europe's tech regulations illustrate the complex interplay of competition, governance, and innovation. Broadcom, a leading Silicon Valley chipmaker, is reportedly exploring the possibility of acquiring Intel's chip design and marketing divisions. According to a recent Wall Street Journal report, Broadcom has had informal discussions about the potential deal, which could mark a significant shift in the semiconductor industry. However, a considerable hurdle remains. Broadcom would need a partner to acquire Intel's foundry business, which has struggled financially. Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing company TSMC has emerged as a potential candidate for this partnership, with discussions ongoing about the future of Intel's manufacturing capabilities. This potential acquisition signifies a transformative moment for Intel, which has faced substantial challenges over the past few years, including significant financial losses within its foundry segment. The company has attempted to mitigate its struggles by spinning off various units and seeking federal assistance through initiatives like the CHIPS Act. As Broadcom contemplates a move that could fundamentally alter Intel's structure, it raises questions about the future of the iconic company and its position in the global semiconductor market. Meanwhile, the tech landscape is witnessing a crackdown on privacy concerns, particularly in South Korea, where the deep-sea cap has been removed from local app stores. The South Korean Personal Information Protection Commission has initiated a thorough investigation into the Chinese AI startup's data handling practices. DeepSeek, known for its competitive R1 chatbot, had previously stated that it stores user data on servers located in China. The South Korean government's decision to suspend the app reflects growing apprehensions about data privacy, mirroring actions taken by authorities in other countries, including Italy and Australia. As governments worldwide become increasingly vigilant regarding data security, companies like DeepSeek may need to navigate complex regulatory environments to maintain their market presence. On the regulatory front, the European Union is adopting a more lenient approach to tech regulation, a shift attributed not solely to external pressures such as the Trump administration's deregulatory agenda but also to internal dynamics within the EU. Digital Policy Commissioner Henna Virkkunen indicated that the decision to withdraw a proposed directive on civil liability for AI was motivated by a desire to enhance competitiveness and reduce bureaucratic hurdles. This recalibration of regulatory priorities comes amid broader concerns about the balance between innovation and oversight, particularly as the EU grapples with the implications of new technologies like artificial intelligence. The developments in both the semiconductor sector and the regulatory landscape reflect a broader trend of adaptation and resilience within the tech industry. As companies like Broadcom and Intel navigate the complexities of mergers and acquisitions, and as governments grapple with the implications of technological advancements on privacy and competition, the coming months are likely to see further shifts in strategy and policy. Looking ahead, the tech industry's trajectory will depend significantly on how these challenges are addressed. The potential for Broadcom to reshape Intel's future could usher in a new era for semiconductor manufacturing, while the regulatory landscape will continue to evolve in response to public concerns about data privacy and security. The interplay of these factors will undoubtedly influence the tech ecosystem, setting the stage for innovation, competition, and possibly new regulatory frameworks that balance growth with accountability. In a striking turn of events, California's insurer of last resort has officially gone bankrupt, signaling a potential crisis in the state's insurance landscape. This dramatic development raises questions about the stability of similar entities and the broader implications for policyholders across California. With the state grappling with increased natural disasters and economic uncertainty, the demise of this key insurer could foreshadow a wave of similar failures in the sector. The insurer, which served as a safety net for homeowners unable to secure coverage in the private market, succumbed under the weight of escalating claims and insufficient reserves. The company's collapse is a reflection of broader challenges faced by insurers in California, where wildfires, floods, and other climate-related disasters have been on the rise. As these risks intensify, insurers are being forced to reassess their underwriting practices and pricing models, leading to increased premiums and a shrinking pool of available coverage. Experts highlight that the failure of the insurer could trigger a ripple effect. When one of these insurers fails, it creates a panic that can lead to more policyholders seeking coverage elsewhere, further straining the industry, stated a leading insurance analyst. This sentiment encapsulates the fears of many in the sector as they brace for potential fallout. In the wake of this bankruptcy, California regulators are under mounting pressure to intervene. They may need to implement measures to stabilize the market and protect consumers who could find themselves without coverage at a time when they need it most. The state's insurance commissioner has emphasized the need for a thorough review of the regulatory framework governing insurers, suggesting that reforms may be necessary to prevent similar crises in the future. As the situation develops, stakeholders are watching closely. The impact on homeowners could be significant, with many now facing the daunting prospect of securing coverage in a tightening market. The loss of the insurer has left a gap that private insurers may be hesitant to fill, particularly in high-risk areas. Meanwhile, the financial implications are not limited to policyholders. The collapse could also affect local economies dependent on the stability of the insurance market. Businesses that relied on predictable insurance rates may now face uncertainty, potentially leading to higher operational costs and reduced investments. While the immediate effects of this bankruptcy are being felt across California, it serves as a cautionary tale for other states grappling with similar issues. Insurers nationwide are reassessing their risk models in response to climate change. And the lessons learned from California's situation could influence regulatory frameworks and insurance practices elsewhere. As the insurance landscape evolves in response to these challenges, the future remains uncertain. Will California take proactive steps to shore up its insurance market, or will we see more companies falter under the weight of increased risk? The answers to these questions will shape the insurance industry for years to come as stakeholders navigate the complexities of a rapidly changing environment. In an era where scientific innovation is pivotal to technological advancement and economic growth, recent discussions around funding cuts for scientific research in the United States have raised alarms among experts and policymakers alike. The potential repercussions of these cuts extend beyond the immediate impact on research communities, threatening the nation's long-term technological competitiveness and economic stability. A report from CT Insider highlights how reduced funding for science could undermine the U.S. economy. The argument is fueled by the understanding that scientific research serves as a backbone for technological breakthroughs that drive economic growth. As the world becomes increasingly reliant on technology, the U.S. risks falling behind other nations that prioritize and invest in scientific exploration and innovation. Harold Varmus, a Nobel laureate and former director of the National Institutes of Health (NIH), emphasized the importance of sustained investment in science. The greatest advances in medicine and technology emerge from a robust and well-funded research environment. Cuts compromise not only our health but our economic future. His sentiments echo the concerns of many scientists who fear that decreased funding will stifle creativity and diminish the U.S. position as a leader in the global scientific arena. The data supporting these claims is compelling. For instance, a report by the National Science Foundation indicated that the U.S. investment in research and development (R&D) as a percentage of gross domestic product (GDP) has been declining, now standing at approximately 2.8% compared to over 3% in the early 2000s. This decline indicates a troubling trend, particularly when juxtaposed against the rising investments seen in countries like China and Germany, which have ramped up their R&D spending to foster innovation and economic growth. Moreover, the implications of these funding cuts extend to the workforce. The U.S. scientific community, comprising a diverse group of researchers, educators, and students, stands to lose talent as funding evaporates. Dr. Maria C. Ferreira, a biochemist at the University of California, noted young scientists are already facing a challenging landscape for securing funding. Reduced governmental support could deter the next generation from pursuing careers in STEM fields, ultimately resulting in a knowledge gap that the nation can ill afford. As discussions continue regarding the federal budget and potential cuts, advocates for science funding are calling for a unified front to underscore the critical need for investment in research. The American Society for Biochemistry and Molecular Biology (ASBMB) has been vocal about the need for increased federal support, emphasizing that a thriving scientific community is integral to addressing global challenges. From public health crises to climate change. The urgency of these discussions is underscored by the recent announcement of the 2025 ASBMB Fellows, honoring individuals who have made significant contributions to the scientific community. Marissa Locke-Rottinghouse, the editorial content manager for ASBMB, remarked, "The recognition of these fellows exemplifies the vital role that dedicated scientists play in advancing our understanding of biochemistry and molecular biology. Their work is a testament to the impact that well-funded research can have on society." In conclusion, the conversation surrounding cuts to scientific funding is not merely about numbers. It is about the future of American innovation, workforce development, and economic vitality. As the landscape of global competition evolves, the U.S. must prioritize and protect its investment in science to ensure a robust, thriving future. The outcome of these discussions will undoubtedly shape the trajectory of the nation's technological prowess and economic resilience for years to come. In a recent study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition, researchers explored the complexities of resting energy expenditure (RE) among women who have undergone bariatric surgery, particularly focusing on the agreement between indirect calorimetry and predictive methods. This research is particularly relevant as the prevalence of obesity continues to rise globally, leading to increased interest in effective weight loss interventions such as bariatric surgery. The study, conducted by a team of Brazilian researchers including Fernando Lamarca and Flavio T. Vieira, involved 226 women with a median age of 43 years who were in the mid to long-term follow-up phase after undergoing Roux-en-Y gastric bypass surgery. This surgical approach is commonly used for weight loss and metabolic improvement. But postoperative monitoring of energy expenditure remains critical for long-term success. The researchers measured the participants' measured REMRE using indirect calorimetry, a method considered the gold standard for assessing energy expenditure. They then compared these measurements against estimated RERE derived from 18 predictive equations and an artificial neural network model. The accuracy of these predictive methods was a focal point of the study, as existing predictive equations often lack precision when applied to varying body mass index (BMI) categories. Results indicated significant differences in the accuracy of the predictive methods based on BMI. In the subgroup of women with a BMI of less than 30 kilograms per square meter, the MRE closely aligned with four predictive equations, notably the Henry and Dietary Reference Intakes Institute of Medicine equations, which demonstrated better accuracy rates of 79.1% and 82.6% respectively. Conversely, in the BMI group of 30 kilograms per square meter or greater, the MRE was substantially lower than the ERE predicted by most equations, highlighting a troubling trend of overprediction and bias within these models, except for the Mifflin-STGOR equation, which showed a closer match. The implications of this study are multifaceted. Firstly, it underscores the importance of individualized assessments of energy expenditure in clinical settings, particularly for women post-bariatric surgery. The variation in predictive equation performance suggests a need for tailored approaches to weight management and metabolic monitoring in this population, especially those with a higher BMI. Moreover, as bariatric surgery becomes increasingly common, the findings may influence how healthcare providers select predictive tools for energy expenditure assessments, potentially leading to more effective post-surgical care strategies. Given that obesity management is a critical public health issue, refining these predictive models could enhance outcomes for millions of individuals undergoing weight loss interventions. As we look to the future, further research is necessary to validate these findings across diverse populations and to develop more accurate predictive tools for assessing RE in various clinical contexts. This could pave the way for improved patient outcomes and more effective weight management strategies in the ever-evolving landscape of obesity treatment, in an era where accountability and transparency in government are more critical than ever. Recent events have brought significant scrutiny to both individuals and institutions tasked with managing public resources. The resignation of a DOJ staff member who accessed the Treasury Department's payment systems after racist posts were exposed has raised alarms about oversight and the implications of personal conduct on public service. This incident underscores the ongoing challenges of fostering a diverse and inclusive environment within government agencies and the broader implications for public trust. The staffer's departure from DOJ, the Department of Government Efficiency, is particularly concerning given the sensitive nature of the Treasury's operations. This individual allegedly accessed payment systems while harboring views that are at odds with the values of diversity and inclusion championed by many modern organizations. The fallout from this incident has prompted calls for stricter vetting processes and enhanced accountability measures within government departments. A parallel narrative is unfolding in the realm of family dynamics and gender roles, as a new study from UCL reveals that traditional expectations continue to dominate discussions around parenthood. Dr. Claire Stovall's research highlights how conversations about parental responsibilities are often disproportionately led by mothers, even when both parents earn similar incomes. This phenomenon perpetuates outdated gender roles and hinders equitable sharing of childcare and domestic duties. Dr. Stovall's study, which involved interviews with 25 professional couples, found that discussions about work schedules and childcare responsibilities were rarely undertaken by fathers. Instead, women typically navigated these conversations, often feeling the pressure to adapt their careers to accommodate family needs. As one father noted, broaching the topic of shared maternity leave felt daunting, reflecting the ingrained perceptions surrounding parental roles. The implications of this research extend far beyond individual families. They point to systemic issues that require proactive solutions from policymakers, organizations, and educational institutions. Dr. Stovall advocates for more robust support systems that encourage equitable discussions about work-family balance, such as non-transferable leave provisions for fathers and policies promoting flexible working arrangements. In a broader context, these findings resonate with the current climate in which societal norms are being challenged and conversations about equity and fairness are becoming increasingly urgent. As we navigate through these complexities, the need for open dialogue and collaborative decision-making is paramount, not only in households but also within government structures and organizations. Moreover, the evolving landscape of foreign aid and climate finance presents another layer of complexity. The recent announcement by former President Trump to suspend USAID expenditures signifies a potential shift in global aid dynamics, particularly affecting healthcare and environmental initiatives worldwide. As noted in recent analyses, the U.S. has historically been a leading donor, and its withdrawal could leave significant gaps in support for critical programs, particularly in developing countries facing pressing challenges. In conclusion, as the world grapples with issues of accountability, gender equity, and global responsibility, the interplay between personal conduct and institutional integrity remains a focal point for future discussions. The resignation of the DOJ staffer and the findings of Dr. Stovall's study both illustrate the urgent need for a re-evaluation of norms and practices across all sectors. As society moves forward, fostering an environment that prioritizes transparency, inclusion, and collaborative decision-making will be essential in shaping a more equitable future. The coming years will undoubtedly test the resilience of these values as we seek to address the multifaceted challenges that lie ahead. In a significant shift that has raised eyebrows on the international stage, China has accused the United States of backtracking on its stance regarding Taiwan. This development comes on the heels of a revised U.S. government fact sheet that notably removed a phrase asserting American opposition to Taiwan's independence. The Chinese Foreign Ministry's response was swift and pointed, with spokesperson Gui Jiaquan asserting that the U.S. has gravely backpedaled and has sent a concerning message to separatist forces on the island. The historical context of Taiwan's status is critical. Since the Chinese Civil War in 1949, Taiwan has operated as a self-governing entity with its own government and military. Yet it has never formally declared independence from China. Gui's remarks reflect a broader anxiety within China regarding any signs of separation from its sovereignty claims over Taiwan. We urge the U.S. to stop emboldening in supporting Taiwan independence and avoid further damaging China-U.S. relations and the peace and stability of the Taiwan Strait, he stated during a daily media briefing. The controversy erupted after the U.S. State Department altered its language in the fact sheet concerning U.S.-Taiwan relations. The phrase, "We do not support Taiwan independence," was omitted. A move that has historically been met with backlash from China. This is not the first time such language has been modified. A similar removal occurred in May 2022 but was reinstated following China's strong objections. The ambiguity surrounding this latest change raises questions about the potential implications of U.S. policy under the recent return of former President Donald Trump to the White House. Taiwan's government has reacted positively to the U.S. revision, interpreting it as a reflection of the strong partnership between Taiwan and the United States. However, the administration in Taipei is wary of Trump's intentions. During his recent statements, Trump highlighted Taiwan's critical role in the global semiconductor supply chain, expressing a desire to see the industry return to the U.S. This rhetoric could signal a shift in U.S. economic policy towards Taiwan, which is home to some of the world's leading semiconductor manufacturers. While the U.S. maintains that it does not recognize Taiwan as an independent nation, it remains the island's strongest supporter and primary arms supplier. This complicated relationship is compounded by China's increasing military maneuvers around Taiwan, which have escalated in recent years. The U.S. has consistently expressed that differences should be resolved peacefully and without coercion, adhering to a policy aimed at stabilizing the Taiwan Strait. As this geopolitical landscape evolves, the international community is closely monitoring the implications of these developments. The potential for escalated tensions between the U.S. and China could have far-reaching consequences not only for Taiwan but also for broader regional stability. Moving forward, the actions of both the U.S. and China will be pivotal in shaping the future of Taiwan and the dynamics of U.S.-China relations. The world awaits clarity on whether this recent change in U.S. policy marks a significant shift in strategy or merely a temporary adjustment in diplomatic language. In an era where health and environmental concerns intertwine with technological advancements, recent studies highlight significant developments in both cardiovascular health and ecological resilience. As the world grapples with increasing health challenges and climate change repercussions, understanding the intricate relationship between personal habits and environmental factors has never been more crucial. On the health front, the American Heart Association introduced Life's Essential 8, a set of 8 habits aimed at promoting cardiovascular health. Announced in 2022. These guidelines emphasize the importance of maintaining a balanced lifestyle to combat heart disease and stroke. The habits include getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night, engaging in at least 2.5 hours of moderate physical activity weekly, abstaining from smoking, consuming a healthy diet, maintaining a healthy weight, and managing cholesterol, blood pressure, and blood sugar levels. Chris Sims, writing for New Scientist, emphasizes that these lifestyle modifications can significantly decrease the risk of cardiovascular diseases. By adopting these practices, individuals can enhance their overall well-being and reduce the chances of developing serious health issues. While health initiatives are essential, the impact of human activity on the environment remains a pressing concern. A recent study conducted by a team from Miguel Hernández University of Elche has shed light on the devastating effects of wildfires in the Andes, particularly in the Arequipa region of Peru. The research reveals that the 2018 wildfire, which consumed nearly 2,000 hectares of shrubland on the Pico Pico volcano, has led to severe soil degradation and hindered ecosystem recovery. Unlike Mediterranean ecosystems, which have adapted to fire disturbances, the volcanic soils of Arequipa are particularly vulnerable. As Professor Jorge Mateix Solera notes, the Peruvian Andes are not prepared for wildfires, highlighting the urgent need for understanding and mitigating the effects of such ecological disruptions. The study indicates that the aftermath of the wildfire resulted in significant loss of soil organic carbon, a critical component for soil fertility, exacerbated by post-fire erosion. The research team found that the unique water-repellent characteristics of the area's soils have further complicated recovery efforts. Without adequate vegetation to retain moisture, the land has become increasingly susceptible to erosion, leading to a cycle of degradation that threatens the region's biodiversity. This situation is emblematic of the broader challenges posed by climate change, as rising temperatures and intensified droughts increase the frequency and severity of wildfires globally. In a parallel exploration of climate phenomena, researchers at UC San Diego's Scripps Institution of Oceanography have examined the influence of atmospheric rivers on precipitation patterns during El Niño and La Niña years. Traditionally associated with predictable weather patterns, these climate phenomena have shown atypical behaviors, particularly in 2023 when a La Niña year unexpectedly brought heavy rainfall to California. The study reveals that atmospheric rivers which deliver substantial precipitation can undermine the expected impacts of El Niño and La Niña, complicating water management strategies in the western U.S. Lead author Rosa Lunanino emphasizes the unpredictability of atmospheric rivers, stating 1 or 2 atmospheric rivers can turn it into a wet year, but a weak atmospheric river season can turn it into a dry year. This variability makes it essential for water managers to integrate atmospheric river forecasts with traditional ENSO predictions to enhance planning and resource allocation. As climate change continues to alter weather patterns, understanding these dynamics will be crucial for ensuring water security in the region. These interconnected narratives from health and environmental research underline the importance of adopting sustainable practices in both personal health and ecological stewardship. As the world moves forward, the insights gained from these studies can inform public health initiatives and environmental policies alike, fostering a more resilient and healthier future. With ongoing research and technological advancements, there is hope that both individual health outcomes and ecological resilience can be improved in the face of persistent global challenges.